What is up, guys and gals? It's me, Thomas Fan of One here, and today we're actually taking a look at something a little bit different. And this is actually kind of a retro thingamajig that I've had sitting in my collection for ages. Only reason I've decided to do it now is because, I mean, hey, I got nothing better to do with this figure, so I figured why not review it? I got nothing better to do with it other than review it, and I'm definitely not going to sell it. It's just going to sit in my collection as a one-off kind of figure, because the only way that you would get this figure with another line was if you bought the Studio Series Transformers The Ride Megatron. And you guys may know what I'm talking about when I refer to that. We're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Universal Studios Deluxe Class Autobot Evac. Now, Evac is one of these characters that I honestly truly believe should be in Studio Series. Like, if they were to give this a little bit more of a silver wash on it, and like give it a slightly more entertaining paint job, because because of what could be, you know, that's what I remember about this figure, is that it was correction. What I remember about this figure was the fact that this was the figure, like this figure here transforms into the Transformers, the ride, the hero of the story, I guess you could call it. Evac is the hero of the story, and basically he just, I'm gonna be honest with you, the ride is not really worth the 2 cents to go on. Okay, it's not worth it in the slightest. Now, in terms of the packaging here, you obviously have well, I don't know if any of you guys remember this, but do you guys remember this? Level 2 out of 3. You had 1 for the core class, which back then was called Legends class. Then you have 2, which was Deluxe class, and if I'm not mistaken, it might have been Human Alliance. And 3 was Voyager class to Leader class. So it all depended on how that went. Now, one more thing that we haven't, seen in ages is the tech specs. So here you got his strength is 6, his intelligence is 5, his speed is 9, so he's a pretty fast guy. His endurance is 4, so he can't really hold up a lot. His rank is 5, his courage is 9, his fire blast is 5, and his skill is 8. Y'all remember this? This was when stuff was actually good. And then, of course, obviously you got the whole display here, which he would have been in robot mode if I had not, opened this back in 2016, when this packaging was still considered like the packaging to get for this figure. And on the back here, it shows you this whole thing, and we're going to read the bio, because the bio is kind of entertaining to me. And I say it's entertaining to me because this is literally just the description of the Transformers The Ride, like the actual thing. This is just the thing here. So it says here, Evac is used to dodging, Evac is used to dodging laser fire. His entire life, Decepticons have gotten in his way and tried to stop him. They've never succeeded, no matter how overwhelming their attack. Evac knows that with Optimus Prime and Bumblebee covering him, and I will explain these two names here. Covering him, nothing will stop him from delivering his passengers safely. Okay, so and this line here, his passengers safely, that last line, we'll get into that too. But the only reason why they marketed Optimus Prime and Bumblebee was because Optimus Prime and Bumblebee were in the ride. They were in the ride 3D animatronics. So, I mean, this is basically just a gist of what the ride is. So, I'm not going to continue going on with this, but as you can clearly see, Evac and all that stuff. So, now that we've taken a look at the packaging, and the packaging being cool, pretty dang cool, we're going to take a look at the figure. Now, the figure is one of those things that is one that I honestly do truly believe should be in Studio Series, because honestly, this is one of those things that just, it's a concept. Like, it's a real-life concept-based real thing, if I had to explain this. So, let me explain. This alt mode here is basically a gist of what the actual ride looks like. And I have been on the actual ride, which is pretty dang cool, and I'm not going to spoil everything for you, unlike the box did. But I'm going to explain this, because if you look very carefully inside the front here, and the actual ride would do this, and you can kind of simulate it a little bit, is that the top piece would open up, and there was no roof here. There was just 4 seats, and you and a couple other people got into the car, and it would close up like this. and then obviously it wouldn't tab into place like what we're doing here with this figure, and clearly you can see there is dust on this thing. It's like this thing has been sitting in my collection for ages, and I just haven't done a thing with it. So, but there is something here on the top here that I feel like there might have been a weapon here that they may have wanted to include, but they kind of didn't. Like, this guy has no, like, external weapons, no none of that, and honestly, that's not a bad thing. However, the one thing that will get you is the price on it. And take note, I paid this price for it back in 2016, so right around the time Titan's Return was coming out. I paid $24.95 for a Universal exclusive figure. So, just remember that. This was way ahead of its time. Like, truly. So, and let's take a look, see at the vehicle mode here. The vehicle mode here, I mean, you got nice wheel spinach going on here, the nice painted silver, you got the Autobot emblem, you got the weird little decals that were, and still are to my knowledge, on the ride. Ask Optination Review if you know, or if he knows, because he was actually at TFCon Orlando and actually went to Universal Studios as a little bonus thing for his YouTube channel, and he actually went on the ride. So they no longer sell this figure at Universal Studios, which kind of bums me out just a little bit. Like, honestly, just a little bit it bums me out. But at the same time, I also cannot say that this figure is not worth, was not worth the price of admission, okay? Now, to my knowledge, when we got on, to get this figure, you had to go on the ride, because the ride brought you out at the gift shop, and you could get this guy. So, that was my only knowledge on how to get this guy. Nowadays, you're going to have to pay somewhere around 150 to 200 USD in order to get this guy brand new in box. So, and speaking of brand new in box concept characters, we're going to be taking a look at some other concept characters to go with him in scale comparison. Oh yeah, y'all love the scale comparisons. Here he is next to the old fart who probably can't even remember his name by now. Otherwise known as Buzzworthy Bumblebee Deluxe Ratchet. Here he is next to not Deluxe Ratchet, Nest Ratchet. Here he is next to Buzzworthy Bumblebee Voyager class Nest Bone Crusher. Now, the reason why I'm showing these off is because these are concept characters. Like, they don't really exist, but at the same time, hey, we did this because it was kind of fun, so. Here he is next to Transformers Studio Series, Dark of the Moon, Voyager class, Thundercracker, Toys R Us exclusive, to be specific. I did a review on this guy a long while back, and honestly, I haven't done anything with him since. So, need to do something with him, so here he is. And finally, here he is next to Buzzworthy Bumblebee Rides the Beasts Optimus Prime, and this is just to get a sense and scale of how he compares with new stuff, with like brand spanking new stuff. So I mean, hey, you know. Plus, this is the current rendition of the leader of the leader of the Autobots that he isn't used. He may not be used. I'm just going base. I'm rambling now at this point, but. And because there's no accessories to take a look at, we can literally just jump right into the transformation after we got done with those scale comparisons. So. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take these little panels here and you're going to want to angle them downward just a little bit because they do tab in not securely, and also this piece right here is a pain in the ass. But they tab in on the sides here so that way you can open the doors. That being said, you are going to open up the gull wing doors here. And then you're going to take the arms, you're going to bring them all the way down, and then you're going to rotate them in, and then there's a hinge joint on the inside there, and you're going to hinge it all the way out, like so. Take this little shoulder piece, bring it all the way down just to get it out of the way for now, and do the same thing. And by the way, the arm does tab in. There's a nice little tab right here. I don't know if you can really see it all that well. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Accordion this out like so, and there, literally, arms all done. All done. Arms are now all done, so don't need to worry about these for the rest of the video, pretty much. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take these pieces back here, you're going to detach them. Going to just port tab or port peg, whatever. Do the same thing on the other side, and then you're going to As soon as you untab them, you're not going to splay them out just yet. You're going to take these wheel sections, you're going to rotate them all the way down. Do the same thing on the other side. And then you're going to take the legs, splay them outward. And then you're going to come to the bottom section. And at this point, it will just detach from these 2 tab slots here at the top. Then you're going to take this front piece. Let's just do this and get it out of the way now. Going to take it and bring it up, so that way it's angled upwards. Then you're going to bring this whole waist assembly down. Take these little gun section pieces here and rotate them forward. Bring the legs down. Then, while you're at it, because this whole back piece is about to be interesting, you're going to take these back pieces here, bring them all the way back. That way you can then bring this forward. And then take these pieces and bring them back so that way they're flush with the wheel. Bring it down, bring it back, make it flush. So then you're going to take this and you're going to rotate it. Oh yeah, twist coming in, rotation. Whew. And then you're going to work on the head. Now the head's kind of interesting. You're going to take the back section of, or this top section of the whole vehicle mode, and then you're going to undo it. It just tabs very loosely in right there. There's a little slot right there. There's a little slot right there. Piece there. Then you're going to take this, fold it all the way up. And then this is this is a fan mode that I like to do. The typical transformation just tells you, oh, you need to basically just tab this whole thing back in and just accordion it so it looks like this. I don't like that. There is another hinge joint up here that you can take advantage of, and you can peg this all the way in there, so that way it looks like you've got a little bit more of a semblance of a backpack, and that way the head doesn't flop around too much. And I like this because, well, I mean, who doesn't want a fully formed Transformer who's not extremely back heavy, but also at the same time not too, front heavy? So straighten them all out. Make sure everything is all nice and good to go. And there you have Transformers Universal Studios Deluxe Class Evac in his robot mode. Now, I like the robot mode. I just wish they had chosen a different color for the eyes. Like, the eyes are what's killing this mold for me, okay? Like, correction, not this mold. It's killing this figure for me. The arms, the arms are just, yeah. So, but, anyways. So, basically, this figure just exists. Like, and honestly, if you were to see this in a Studio Series packaging, would you really second guess it? Like, seriously, if you had seen that in this is just an example, if you had seen that in this packaging, would you honestly double question that? Like, that would be, that, he could pass for Studio Series dropkick. Not saying he is, he could pass for one. Now, one thing you will need to know is that these shoulder pad pieces, like these wheel well pieces here, they are on a rotational joint, and they are a little bit of a pain in the butt. So just know that. And you do have to pull them out, rotate them, and do all that sort of stuff. There is a little bit of a not click joint in there, but it's like a friction joint. So it's a little, this one on my copy is a little finicky. This one on my copy is not. This one's not, this one is. Yeah. So now that he is in robot mode and we've judged him, we can now put him into some scale comparisons. That's right, scale comparisons. So here he is next to Deluxe Class Nest Ratchet. So, make sure we got all this nice and honky-dory. Here he is next to Studio Series Buzzworthy Bumblebee Voyager Bone Crusher. Nest Voyager Bone Crusher, to be specific. Here he's next to Thundercracker, Voyager's Toys R Us Thundercracker. And finally, here he is next to Rise of the Beasts Voyager Prime. Now, once again, this is how he scales with a brand new figure. So, yeah. Now, where do I rank this figure? I rank this figure somewhere in the ballpark of around, if I was to rank this back in 2016, it would definitely be getting a set like a 7 to 8 point, it would be a pretty high ranking figure. But because it's not a high ranking figure, and because this figure is now currently discontinued, and you cannot just waltz into Universal Studios Orlando or Universal Studios in California, you just no longer can do that. This is now an aftermarket toy. So as an aftermarket toy, I think it knocks it out of the park for idea, knocks it out of the park for transformability, knocks it out of the park for the time period that it was released in, and it also knocks it out of the park for all of the things that I said specifically for the time period. Now, if we're to rank it as a brand spanking new today figure, I would probably rank this somewhere in the ballpark of a 6. Okay? Because this is a figure you can't get a hold of. It's not exactly something that a child is going to want, and on top of it, this thing has some issues. So, But all in all, not a bad figure. I rank this in today's scale a 6.5 to 7. So that's where this thing ranks, 6.5 to 7, because it works with everything else. It looks like everything that you would want it to look like, but its availability, it's a one-off thing, and you could only get it in 2 parts of the United States. You may or may not have been able to get it in Japan. I'm not 100% certain on that, so don't quote me, but there's basically hardly a way to get this figure now. So anywho, this is Thomas Fan 1 saying don't forget to subscribe for more content. Don't forget to leave a like on this video. Don't forget to check out Planet Toys, a world built by collectors, our sponsor for today, where if you sign up with them, you get a 10% discount. All you have to do is send them your email address, and they will literally send you all the news about all the new toys that they get in stock. And they're currently in the works of getting themselves some third-party Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures, so I would hopefully like to see you guys, sign up and check it out down below. And also don't forget to check out Optination Reviews, Beastman Reviews, Riveted Reviews, Jordy's Rail Videos, Patrick with a Y, iStar552, and Bravely Gigi, as I know they all do some amazing stuff, along with Take Along Productions. So let's not forget him. And this is Thomas Fan 1 saying, do not forget to keep playing with your toys. Don't forget it.